Silver Society.
Welcome to the Silver Eye Society's monthly AMA. You are so privileged to be watching this exciting, chaotic form of media where we answer questions from random people and see what comes of it. So we've got two questions in this AMA for June. We're going to discuss what bands that we liked as kids that we still like, and something a little less wholesome, how to navigate workplaces that require ideological alignment to keep your job. So that's heavy. So in this public portion of the AMA, we'll be discussing those questions. But in the private portion, the extremely elite, exclusive, coveted portion of the AMA for patrons, we'll be discussing guns. I don't know, it's pretty general here. Gun violence, it's the big topic. We'll talk about fallacies in discussing this issue and also whether there's any way to actually solve it and what that would look like. Lots of things. We'll see. You may see if you are a patron. If you're not, you'll be satisfied with this public portion for now. So let us start.
Great. Yeah. Can't wait. Let's go.
Excellent. That's the spirit. So what bands or artists that you liked as a child do you still enjoy listening to? Why don't you go ahead and go first?
Is this the only question about music that we have to deal with, or was there some other question? I thought there was some other question about music.
No.
So I don't listen to music anymore. I rejected it. Though recently, I found a form of music called bardcore on accident. The YouTube algorithm finally honed in on what was best for me. And so it's just people using lutes and medieval instruments to do cover songs, usually of metal songs like Iron Maiden, System of a Down, the like.
A lute.
So that I got into for a day. I listened to some bardcore for a couple hours, and I think I probably will in the future. And I think it's my fate. But other than that, I don't listen to music. I don't have the technology. When the what's the precursor of the iPhone was like the iPod? Is that what it was? I never had that. Rejected it. Used to have CDs, some MP3s, burned some CDs. You know what I'm saying? Listen to those in the CD player.
Back in the day when everybody was anti-authority naturally because you wanted to pirate music and it was cool. Now the law has been baked into our lives to a degree that we don't even recognize anymore how lawless we all once were.
Well, music's free now, right? Pretty much music's free.
No,
it more or less is, though. And of course, with everything that becomes free, it's worthless, and which is what most music is now. It's more or less worthless. People don't pay
for music every month. It's less free than it's ever been.
You're a fool because you can find music for free today more so than any other time. Music.biz. I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
dude.
No, you can't.
Go to YouTube. Anything on YouTube is there already.
Am I going to work out to YouTube? I'm going to curate a YouTube playlist or something like.
Yeah, I guess you could.
And then have commercials that pop in and then
because if you're not a fool, you just get ad blocker, which I've had for years, and there's no commercials on YouTube anymore, which I think I have
that too. But still,
so there are no commercials. You can't think. There are two types of people in this world. There's people that have ad blocker for YouTube, and there's people that don't. You know if you don't because there's always a commercial that usually plays beforehand. So you can't not know if you have ad blocker.
I don't recall.
You're not even conscious of what you're doing then. I mean, like, do you see commercials or not? You don't use YouTube as much.
Advertising is so deeply melded into modern life that I can't recognize whether I consume it or not.
Which is the point. There's no point of listening to music anymore. The point is it's all free. It's all free. And because it's all free, the artists are even poorer than they were before.
That makes
sense.
So
they basically only make their money by like playing live, which there's no way I would ever go to anything like that, like a concert or a festival. The festival is the funniest thing.
It's so joyless.
Yeah, so I have no interest in that. So anyway, that's my answer. Bardcore.
Give an answer that
Bardcore for life.
I'm
going to get that tattooed on my forehead.
Yeah. That sounds like something that
like a lute here and a lute here.
Who listens to music would do. have that tattoo. Anyway, I, on the other hand, do listen to music. I am very pro music. I reject your stance. I think it's incredibly important. It is something that connects us to like a universal sense of being human. I don't know. It's deeper than
Right, but if you want to
other
get
things.
past that, then my way is the best way.
Your way is kind of like the no. Didn't even monks have music? They got dude. Even the monks were rocking out. Okay,
I didn't say I didn't sing chanson in the shower by myself. I haven't said anything along those lines. All right.
Because honestly, the monks rocked out, and if
I have listened to a few during the height of coronavirus. I did get briefly into a few days listening to
chants. Didn't I
Orthodox
send you one?
monk chants. And then I also, while I was doing my very famous series on Instagram, Painting in the Witching Hour, I had to put background music on. So I would put just random classical music or classical guitar music or whatever.
That was chaotic.
And recently, some of my videos that were recorded years ago, 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, whatever time, makes no sense, that Instagram actually sent all the things, said this has been removed, and then they gave a list of countries because the background music while I was painting apparently has been licensed or something.
Oh. Wow.
I'm trying to stretch this really boring fucking question out as long as I can.
Let it go, because I am going to give an actual answer
Let
to
me
it.
give the answer for you. It's going to be like X popular band, yes, I used to listen to. X popular band B, I used to listen to, I still do. X popular band C.
See, no, this is why you don't understand anything.
It's just going to be
because
this.
if I gave a bunch of shitty bands, you would know that I have shitty taste. The thing is, it's the specifics that convey the information here. And the information that I'm going to convey is that I have always been a musical aficionado with incredible taste since birth, okay? Straight out of the hospital, I was rocking out. Radiohead, Metallica, Kanye, Aphex Twin. Do you understand what kind of person, what kind of child, what stock that child cometh from who listens to Aphex Twin in middle
addicts.
school? Well, I wasn't.
More or less drug addicts.
Nerves of steel, okay, and brilliance above ascended. The Pocahontas soundtrack, okay? I listened to it as a child, like legit a child, and I still listen to that shit today because it taps into a level of humanity and understanding of this world that is above the rational. It is above the rational. It is timeless. It contains truth in musical form. It's brilliant. And I use it as a way to sometimes ground me in this world. Like I'll listen to, there's a specific track on the Pocahontas soundtrack that's like, it's like the Grandmother Willow or something. Like there's no words. It's just this like atmosphere created by the music. And it is so powerful. It's fucking amazing. So that is actually something I've listened to since being a child that I still listen to today. And Bjork. I was listening to Bjork in middle school. And Erykah Badu, actually. That's one I should add. That I also listened to since I was like in middle school. And I still love both and all of these bands. So God bless me. I actually, like, this is why I knew I was always going to succeed in life. Because when you come out the womb rockin', you can't do anything but succeed. You understand? So let us move on to our next question. Someone else is out here trying to succeed, but they are being kept down.
You don't
by
know
the
anything about
ideologies.
rocking, first off.
You don't even
Because
rock. You don't even rock.
Hey, I went and saw White Lion and Striper in concert when I was 10 years old. That's Christian metal. Do you know how rockin' you have to be to grow up in the Midwest and go to a Christian metal concert? You don't know. You don't know.
That is pretty rockin', to be honest.
It's pretty rockin'.
So last time you listened to music was as a 10-year-old listening to Christian metal?
I went and saw Tool in concert also.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, Tool I think I used to listen to when I was in high school for sure. And
Actually,
Tool I recently found.
Silence. I'll actually answer this question briefly. Because when I was going to the gym before the coronavirus hit, I was going to the gym, deadlifting the weights, which is why, by the way, I think the Chinese Communist Party released the coronavirus, because they got wind of the fact that I was training, and they were like, this is this is possible that he's going to beat us in the Olympics for 2020. Let's release a deadly virus across the globe in order to prevent him from training, number one, and also to push back the Olympics just in case he trains too hard in his house while listening to Orthodox Christian monk chants. So my point is that I would listen to Danzig and Tool while doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, Tool is on my workout playlist too. Tool, is one of those bands that it's just like really created something, I want to say magical, because it's like creating that sound is very, very important. Like the sound that they were able to create is so unique to Tool and so emotive. It's very emotive.
A lot of Carl Jung, actually. A lot of Carl Jung in the lyrics of Tool. If you didn't know that, which you didn't know.
Right. Because there's
you're
what is that
busy listening to
album called?
Disney.
Like Enigma or whatever? Please. There's
Anima.
not Carl Jung in Disney.
Anima,
that's what it is.
I was saying you're busy listening to Disney soundtracks.
I'm fusing with the Anima with that. So please, okay, that's another level. Okay, when you learn to appreciate Disney soundtracks on the level that I do, you have ascended to the Anima or whatever. Anyway, okay, enough with the music stuff. Let's answer this second question.
Great.
Navigating workplaces requiring ideological alignment.
It's amazing to me because I know whoever asked this question doesn't watch this podcast, because there's no way someone could look at me and think that I've navigated a workplace successfully. So I don't.
If they
this
look
is
at me,
fake
they know
news.
I don't exist in a workplace. So
This question it came from your Instagram, right?
yes.
Right. It didn't come from someone who actually watches this. So because there's no way. There's no way they look at me and say, this guy's in that.
Well, maybe
there's
they don't
no
want you to
way
fucking
anyone in the
answer
right
it.
mind looks at me and says, I'd like some advice on navigating the workplace from this person. So it's someone that pays attention to you on Instagram. They're never going to hear the answer to this because they're probably not going to watch the podcast. So
Stop speaking curses over
It's not
this episode. Enough. Okay. The thing is with the AMA is that we answer the question and some straggler comes in and is like, this is exactly what I needed. They don't have to be the one that answers the question.
they're insane if they look at us and they're like, let's get advice on navigating workplaces.
Well, on the contrary,
we need a warning on this podcast. Do not listen to this. What are you going
We're
to tell
about
us?
to
Tell
get
us how you
one.
navigate
That's
the
what
workplace.
YouTube and all these social media companies are trying to do is put warnings on everybody's shit.
I'm
so
saying
that no one
we
listens.
should put the warning ourselves on it. But anyway,
I
how do you
don't
navigate the
want to do
workplace to avoid ideology? Here's the answer, by the way.
exit
Just
it.
fucking lie. There, now we're done. Lie. That's the right answer. But now you
No.
go ahead and give the other answer about how it's
Don't be in a workplace. That's literally the
quit
answer.
your job or lie. That's our answer. Great.
No, but
See?
seriously. No, enough of you. Enough. You have had your chance and you're over now. You're over. Canceled.
I'm the editor. So
Terminated.
We'll see how that works.
Oh my God. The thing is that
navigate.
I'm actually the perfect person to answer this question because I came from a background of people that had jobs. Okay. My mom, my dad, they both work in public government jobs, so they are jobs people, the kind of jobs that tell you when to breathe and how many years you have to do something before they give you the things that you're entitled to get. Insane, low key, I don't approve of these kinds of jobs that they put too much requirements on you. And that's something that I always disliked. But that's also because of my personality. I don't take well to having restrictions placed on me that I don't absolutely agree with. So this depends on the person's priorities. Do you fucking like your job? Is your job more important than having restrictions placed on you that you don't agree with? Because there are a lot of people that do feel that way. They do value being able to work at X company or make X salary or pursue X goal more than their freedom to do what they like. There's a lot of people like that. So you have to be honest with yourself about what you really care about. Because if you really care about not having to bite your tongue when it comes to ideological issues and things that you disagree with, then you need to be prepared to create a life where you are free from other people's restrictions. Because if you're in a job that requires ideological alignment, as this question describes, you are in the wrong place if you want to be able to say, no, I don't agree with that. No, I reject that. Period.
Well, the person clearly is in that place, or why would they ask the question? And also, they've already decided that they do want the job, or why would they ask the question? So they're asking, how do I navigate it, which I've given the perfect answer, which is lie. And or say that you've been touched inappropriately by a coworker, and then elevate that up to HR if you get caught with a Trump flag or whatever it is that you're worried about. I don't know what a Trump flag is exactly, but has anyone made that? It should be made. I'm going to make it.
There is a Trump flag.
There should there should just be an American flag with his head in the middle of it or something.
I'm sure it exists.
I don't know what a Trump.
I'm sure it exists.
We just get. That's a great idea. But anyway, do you see what I'm saying? That's. I give practical advice. You give the airy fairy advice up there in the stars, you know. And I say, look, here's how you deal with HR.
Well,
they ask you in. Let's go through this. They ask you in, and they say, "Hey,
know anything."
No, I don't know how this works. Listen, they ask you into the office, and they say, "Look, we've heard that you've been flying a Trump flag at your desk at your cubicle recently," and you say, "Trump 2028," and then you walk out the door screaming, "This person touched me." That's how you handle it, all right? And then when the person's like, "I didn't do it," you'd be like, "Well, it's my word versus yours." So.
Yeah, that's successful. That's That's one way to go through life. There is another way. It's the way that I would advocate, which is, I mean, look, decide what the fuck you care about. If you really care about pushing back on stuff, and this is the right place to do it also. You know, there's this misconception also that you need to push back on everything. Not always. Sometimes it's better to not push back in that moment if it allows you to get to a place where you can really make change, you know? So it doesn't actually help anyone if you're the homeless guy under the bridge shouting about like, oh, they didn't let me have they didn't let me go into college because I couldn't get a vaccine pass or whatever. Like, maybe that's not the path to change. Maybe you need to get in a little bit.
Another way of saying that is bide your time for vengeance.
It's more eloquent. Yeah. That's it. That's actually what I'm advocating for, is that perhaps vengeance is better wrought if you wait and play the shitty game for a while. But be prepared also, like have a plan.
We probably shouldn't accidentally endorse workplace violence, though. So that's not what we're doing on YouTube. YouTube, listen here. That's not what we're talking about. Vengeance
can just be quitting and getting a better job. You know, vengeance can just be like becoming a higher position in the company where they can't tell you shit anymore. So that you have to identify what vengeance is for you. Not violence. Not that kind of vengeance. The kind of vengeance that actually helps other people because now you're in a better position to do what you're put on this earth to do and do good things and blah, blah, blah. Not vengeance of like destroying things. It's not helpful. It doesn't help anybody. It's the fool's way out. So anyway, quit your job, or don't quit your job, but prepare to one day quit your job, or rule your job. Quietly prepare and then one day take over your job so that you are the one that sets the ideologies that have to be kept in alignment with. Yeah. This chaos, absolutely chaotic answer, but it's true. Actually, if people are willing to dig through the mess, they'll find that it's true. You only have very few options in that kind of situation. You know, like you either are not going to tolerate it, or you are, and if you are, you have to decide that, you know, I have decided that this is more valuable to me, and actually be okay with that. Or if you're
This is like being at a job, listening to someone repeat the same thing, they like at a corporate meeting or whatever, where they're like, "Here's the thing," and then
again, you don't know anything about a corporate meeting.
a corporate meeting, you know?
Yeah, why don't you tell us? I want you to tell us about this is like a corporate meeting.
I've worked
you
at
look like
corporations.
someone. Yeah.
Yeah. Not gonna talk
After
about
White
it.
Lion concert in the Midwest, you went to your corporate job.
Everything's a corporation. That's
fair. All right. This is June's AMA. You have been provided wisdom and inspiration and abundance. Bless you. Bless the people in your life, or your many lives, however many you have, by creating great things, so that people can listen to your music as a child and be inspired, or you can set a better culture for your job so it's not like some kind of weird gulag environment, make the world a better place, etc. It's important. All right. If you really want the juicy stuff, next we're going to talk about guns. So you should definitely become a patron for that one, because only patrons can handle what the fuck we're about to get into, I'm sure. See you on the next episode of the Silver Eye Society.
Don't touch me.
You want to say that this... I was going to say, would you like to conclude this corporate meeting?